Hey, how you doing, Ron Savage? And we are ready for 2 hours. Two hours of power. You just stand by, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be great with Pat McDonough. There he is. Johnny D, how you doing, Johnny? Yeah.
Boeing Starliner capsule then veered off course and into the wrong orbit because someone set the clock wrong on the spacecraft. Instead of docking with the space station, Starliner's maiden voyage coming to an early end tomorrow morning. It's set to land in the New Mexico desert. I'm Jay Metzler. This is Fox News.
Sunday, Saturday, clouds, a little sunshine. The afternoon high gets up to the upper 30s. Go to mid-20s for our Saturday night, and then Sunday with sunshine, a few clouds, and a high. Right.
Hey Barry, what's up, baby?
Jamino Weather Channel. We're Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Is your roof leaking? Do you have water spots on your walls or ceilings? Do you have leaks around your chimney or skylights? If so, then you may need to repair or replace your roof before the damage escalates. Call Wallace Roofing at 410-655-3700. Wallace Roofing, family owned and operated, is your full-service roofing company, specializing in steep and flat roofs, all types of metal roofs, gutters, downspouts, and skylights. They do residential and commercial roofs. Getting a roof repaired is something most homeowners dread. But when the roof does need repair, it's important to get not only the finest quality materials available, but a fair and reasonable price on installing those materials as well. So if your roof is showing signs of wear or other problems, call Wallace Roofing, 410-655-3700. 410-655-3700. Wallace Roofing does roof repair and replacement. Call Wallace Roofing today at 410-655-3700. Their MHIC number is 1566. Wallace Roofing, above all, a good roof.
The WCBM studios are brought to you by Seek Retirement Solutions. Call our friend Rod Baroy at 410-266-1120 or on the web at SafeRetirementSolutions.com.
The views and opinions you hear on Talk Radio 680, WCBM, and WCBM.com are not necessarily those of the owners, management, employers, and advertisers of WCBM. But they should be.
The Pat McDonough Show is brought to you by Rally for America. This is Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Time now for the Pat McDonough Show. Here's your host, Pat McDonough.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the program this evening. And it's that time of the year, Ron. Christmas is on the way. I believe that Christmas Eve is Tuesday. Christmas Day is Wednesday, the 25th.
Yes.
And I will be filling in on the 26th, the next day after Christmas, which is Thursday, for our friend Derek Hunter. And I believe, and someone can call me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I also believe Hanukkah starts on the 22nd of December and goes through the 30th, I believe, the Festival of Lights. So a lot of celebrating, and rightfully so, during the next week or so. And we're happy to have it here. I look forward to it every year. As people know, I am not a winter guy. And the past few days have been very cold.
It has.
So I am not a winter guy, but
I hate winter.
When it comes to Christmas, yes, I'm excited. That's for sure. Great time of the year. Now, this evening, we're going to talk about, I can't believe this. You know, President Trump leads a charmed life. Here is a guy who was the victim of a phony, cheap scam, the impeachment, by Nancy Pelosi and the mob and the media mob. And at the same time, he had one of the greatest weeks he's ever had in the history of his 3-year presidency. We'll talk about that. Can you imagine the things that happened this week that were great for America? That Donald Trump was the person behind those things? Yeah, really amazing stuff. We'll talk about that. And of course, Pelosi and her gang, they are already continuing. You would think they would learn something from the polls. The polls, I'm not going to say that Trump's great week includes the polls, but it does. The polls are quite amazing regarding the impeachment. A CNN poll, for example, there's been a whole collection of polls. The CNN poll says that impeachment has fallen from a 50% support nationally to 44%. That's a 6% drop of national support. Now, on the Democrat side, believe it or not, the support for impeachment has fallen by double digits by Democrats. It's going from 90% to 75%. That's a big drop. Still high.
That is.
It's a very big drop.
That is.
And Clear Politics says that several of the polls, they put all the polls together, and the impeachment support is clearly underwater. The USA Today poll, this is USA, they're not a big supporter of President Trump. He now leads every one of the Democrat candidates right here in the middle of the impeachment, which nobody watched the impeachment, nobody cared about it, and apparently a lot of people got ticked off about it.
Yeah.
And now when Nancy Pelosi does not get the point, I mean, how dense is this woman? Now she wants to play more games. They played all kinds of games. They cheapened the whole idea of an impeachment. They made it totally partisan. And they played all kinds of games with Schiff and Nadler with rules and regulations. Didn't have a fair process. And that's one of the underlying reasons in all the sub polls that the American people, even the Democrat voters, are upset about the whole process. But now she didn't get the point. She continues by trying to hold back sending over the articles. And there's, of course, a disagreement on whether the articles need to be sent over anyway. Well, listen, if she doesn't send them over during the Christmas week, who cares? Why should we be bothered with that? Why should President Trump be bothered with that?
That's right.
We can wait until January.
Yes.
Then Mitch McConnell will take care of business, and Lindsey Graham will really take care of business.
Yeah.
And we will see how foolish and how partisan and how cheap and pathetic this whole
I'm
process
never ready
was.
for
It was
Christmas
all about
Berry.
politics. And then watch the polls. The polls. It's crazy. I'm telling you.
Crazy jail.
And during the process of the impeachment, President Trump took in $10 million in
Jeez.
1 week in donation.
Wow.
People were so encouraged by the president and so discouraged by Pelosi and her mob that they dedicated $10 million to his reelection. Now, despite the impeachment, look at some of the things that are happening. The Dow has gone up 10,000 points. 10,000 points since the president was elected. That's a 54% increase, never before in the history of the United States. It's up to 28,300. Amazing. People, 3 years, 10,000 point increase. Now, the Democrats like to say, well, that's the rich guys on Wall Street. No, I'm sorry, that's my 401k. Okay?
Yes.
It's my wife's trust fund. That's things like that. That's the IRAs, the retirement, the seniors in this country. They are benefiting by the 54%, and they need it. So the senior's best friend is President Trump. And that 3.5% unemployment, that's the blue collar. That's the working people. That's their best friend. Okay?
Yes.
So Nancy Pelosi and the mob and the radical Dems can talk about, gee, and I love it. They just had the clown car race up on this week for another one of those so-called
Clown car race.
Forums, debates.
Don't say nothing. Don Wingo's here.
These people just get crazier and crazier. And this is the next to last debate. The next one is in January. And they only had 7 of the clowns up there on the stage.
7 of the clowns.
But still sputtering that crazy nonsense about all the different ideas that they have. They talk about Medicare for all, Medicare for illegal immigrants, paying off all the debt, making college free. Free? Come on. We know who's paying free. You know how the word free is spelled, right?
Yeah.
Me and you, that's how it's spelled. That's who's going to pay for that. So they're still spouting the crazy stuff. And I can tell you,
freaking great. I love it. I love
the radical Dems under Pelosi are not going to be able to withstand the tsunami of criticism that is coming their way.
Right.
The point is this: I think President Trump is going to have a great year. 2020
Absolutely.
is going to be a great year.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a year of reckoning
Claude.
for the Democrat Party. It really is. The Democrats have got
They're
to
all
decide
clowns,
if
Claude.
they're going to allow the socialist radical left to transform that party and control it. You know, when President Obama was elected, he said quite clearly he wanted to transform America. Well, the fact of the matter is he did a lot of things that hurt America, especially with our national defense. And we'll talk about that later. But the fact of the matter is that the Democrat Party has been transformed by Obama, not America, but the Democrat Party. Bill Clinton, Harry Truman, John F. Kennedy, but even Bill Clinton, a more recent president, would not be welcome into the Democrat convention because their ideas and their agenda has nothing to do with these crazy radical left socialists. To be fair about it, just reflect. Hillary Clinton was the Democrat nominee 3 short, quick years ago, right? And none of these things, that these 7 dwarfs or these radical left candidates for president, none of these things, this Medicare for all nonsense and the new Green Act or whatever that thing is called, Hillary did not advocate any of that stuff. That was not on her agenda, and it was not even in the convention on the platform. None of that stuff. Bernie was talking about it, but even Bernie was not as radical then as he is now. So in 3 short years, the Democrat Party has completely transformed. Mitch McConnell, leader in the Senate, said that he's going to throw down the glove and put a hard deadline. He's going to put a hard deadline.
Hey, Stretch, how you doing, baby?
Pelosi.
Hey, Stretch.
And she's either going to have to send over the articles or they will run their own show because in the Constitution, it states that the trial is the sole power of
Santa Grosso.
the U.S. Senate, and they will do it. They don't need to have those articles officially because that is the sole power of impeachment in the House. But the sole power of the trial,
right?
Those articles are public and they are officially in the record. So the Senate can go forward and they will do that. And one of the problems, you see, when you have, and you got to look at this in a bigger way, when you have the polls, including CNN, showing that across the country and in the Democrat Party, a 20-point drop in supporters of impeachment, these are the people that are going to do one of 2 things in the big election coming up. One thing they're going to do is they may not vote for President Trump, but they may become non-voters. And non-voters could become a problem for the Democrats in the upcoming election. Now, it was actually a problem in the midterms for the Republicans. A lot of the Trump people are new voters. They're older, but they're new voters. And essentially, they did not come out in the midterms because the president was not on the ballot.
The fan is ringing.
Let's be fair, they're amateur voters. They're not veteran, consistent voters, so they didn't come out like they come out for these huge rallies. But as a result, we lost some seats. Now, these 31 Democrats that are in Trump districts with this pathetic scam, which is called a...
and where are you calling from, Tony?
Oh, an impeachment. They are in very big trouble. But look at some of the things that happened for the president during this time period. Pretty amazing stuff. The Horowitz report came out. The horrible Horowitz report came out, which pretty much confirmed publicly that Schiff was a liar,
so what
that Comey was a liar, and the ranking member Nunes was actually telling the truth. So, I mean, that is something that was great for the president. He passed the new NAFTA. Which is fantastic. Could create 200,000 jobs. He did a deal with the Chinese. And the deal with the Chinese, which is fantastic, is that it has the old Ronald Reagan law.
Right, Tony, you're number 1. We're going to get
trust
up there.
but verify. So the phase 1, and this is great that the president is doing this in phasing. He's phasing it in. He's not going to run into the whole thing because the Chinese do what? They lie, right? They lie and they cheat. So you got to watch them. So we're going to have a trade agreement, but we're going to watch them. We're going to trust but verify.
2 minutes.
So we had the new NAFTA. We
Yay.
had the deal with the Chinese.
Yay.
We had the horror.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Stretch.
We had
You and your
the
family, man. Merry Christmas
polls
and Happy New
showing
Year.
that Trump is advancing. We had the Dow going through record-breaking stuff. And we've had the passage. This is a beautiful thing. The passage of the defense bill. You know, the president has been rebuilding the defense for the past 3 years because Obama tore it down, destroyed it.
Yes.
Planes that couldn't fly because they didn't have fuel, they didn't have equipment. We didn't have enough ammunition to conduct a war. So the president is doing the right thing. He's rebuilding our defense. And they passed that bill. And also in that bill, guess what? $2 billion for the wall.
Oh, man.
Pelosi said, no, we can't do the wall.
Right,
You know,
right.
It's immoral. It's immoral. Just because those deplorables want it, that doesn't mean that us good people want it. But yeah, he got $2 billion. And then this is amazing. This is historic. Just as when President Reagan created what they called Star Wars, which was the Strategic Defense Initiative, which helped to break the Soviet Union and to stop the missile threat, or at least reduce it, make them spend so much money to try to develop their own.
Yeah.
The president officially in this bill created the Space Force. Now it's starting out small, but let me tell you something. The Chinese and the Russians are all over space warfare. They're shooting up satellites and rockets, and they're spending billions of dollars on space warfare
As well.
because those who have the high frontier, as it's called, they are the most dangerous.
Yeah.
They could shoot down all of our satellites to tell our tanks and soldiers and infantry where to go.
Yeah.
They can shoot down our missiles from the air, and they can release hypersonic missiles from orbit that can get here in 5 minutes.
Man,
Okay?
that's too much.
So while the liberals and the mob in the media, the radical left mob and the media were criticizing and mocking the president wants to go into space, well, the Chinese and Russians were already there. So he's doing the right thing. And this is historic. And someday the Space Force will be very important, just like the Star Wars, the Strategic Defense Initiative was for President Reagan and the United States. So this president had a great week during the impeachment. The fact of the matter is, yes, he's upset. He should be. He knows he's being cheated. He does not have due process. How would you feel if you were arrested and thrown in jail and indicted without any probable cause, and you knew it was a setup? Well, that's what's being done to the President of the United States. And like I said last week, I saw that great movie, Richard Jewell, which the liberal press is already knocking. It's a great Clint Eastwood movie. But there was just an ordinary working guy, and the FBI and the media, both corrupt, back in 1993, and they indicted this guy. They didn't indict him, but they indicted him in the public arena. Eventually, they never even charged the man, but they destroyed his life and his mother's life. And that's the same thing. That was in 93. This is all these years later. And the swamp and the mob and the media, did they learn anything from that? No.
No.
They did the same thing to the most powerful man in the world, the President of the United States. Does that tell you how dangerous they are? 410-922-6680. 410-922-6680. Call me. We'll be right back.
I'm playing all cool Christmas music.
Are you facing tax problems? No matter how long it's been since you last filed,
Right.
if you have faced unemployment, loss of a family member, divorce, or illness, and feel you can't afford to fix your tax problems, contact Advantage Tax Service, the Tax Killer. With the Tax Killer Rescue Plan, you have options you'll find nowhere else. Since 1989, Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, has helped many Marylanders and others outside the state resolve their problems. Advantage Tax Service has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Thank God for joining. It's going to be 2 hours of power. I'm telling you, man, it's freaking great. It's freaking great.
They are here all year, preparing each return
There we go.
for their own.
There we go. You guys are a little crazy. I just want to do it. Absolutely. Ha! My dada! Woo! Head on, baby. All right. Yeah, Mike Damsel. Here we go, baby. Merry Christmas, Mike Damsel. Happy New Year, baby. All right.
That's taxkiller.com.
Hi, Vinny Stio here with Remax Community. Season's greetings from our family to yours. This is a great time of year to plan ahead if you're thinking about selling your home, and also the perfect time to look back and reflect upon the accomplishments and people we're most grateful for. Are especially grateful for the opportunity to serve you and your family, whether you are buying or selling a home. We've helped hundreds of families in our area this year, so thank you for your valued business, your trust, and loyalty, and a special thank you to all those who trusted us enough to refer their friends and family and helped us raise thousands of dollars to support those amazing kids at Johns Hopkins Children's Center. We'll continue our fundraising efforts in the new year by donating a portion of our income from any referred client who buys or sells a home. And will be available over the holidays if you're looking to buy or sell a home this winter. Season's greetings and a happy new year from our real estate team. Call us at 410-793-1616. That's 410-793-1616 and start packing.
Hey,
Start packing.
if you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, over-designed, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cup, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Hey, this is Ogatis. I'm not worthy. Hail to thee.
Finally. Did you hear that, Andrew? How come you never talked to me like that?
Hail to thee.
Hail to thee, yes.
I've been listening so long. I bought one of those DC radio, AM recorded radios, and used to record your shows before you got to the podcast.
She's a lady in it. Freddie Herman's here. Woo, brother Freddie.
Exclusively on Talk Radio 680.
Playing some Christmas, you baby.
And now more of the Pat McDonough Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. And we're going to go right to Tony. Tony, good evening.
Good evening. Well, I just want to get your opinion on refusal. And, since the Democrats were so hyperbolic and just went crazy and hysterical, especially to recuse himself during the Russia hoax. So what do you think they'll do during the Senate trial? Will there be any call for recusals, or is it going to be their double standard once again?
Well, I think the Democrats are predictable, and there will be a trial. It'll probably be won't be next week because of the holiday season, and it might not be the following week. It might be the week after that. It'll probably last 4 or 5 days at the most, maybe 3. The Democrats will present their case, and the Republicans will present their case, may include the president. I know he's chomping at the bit to do that. And their numbers will continue to dive because now, for the first time, and I don't think 5 or 6 million people are going to watch the trial. I think 10, 20, maybe 25 million people are going to watch the trial, and they're going to be exposed to the truth. And most people are fair-minded, good people, and they're going to see this. And as far as they have lost these points already in the polls, just with the impeachment, the sham, now when the people are exposed to the other side of the story, or as Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story, their numbers are going to go down even worse.
Right, but just even with another, just another card, just give them another slap in the face with what they are. Shouldn't Republicans be asking for recusals? Just of course they're not going to, but just to.
You're talking about a summary judgment? Just to cancel the whole thing?
Corey Booker and Senator Warren and
WCBM, the Pat McDonough show line. Savage, we need to call.
you know, we're,
Oh, you mean they're going to be
Oh,
there.
Pete from
They
Centerville.
will be there.
so they won't reduce.
All
No
right.
way.
Yeah,
Well,
we just came on.
we should ask them to reduce themselves and just see what they say.
And what would you like to talk to Pat tonight about, Pete?
Hypocrite card can be slapped on them once again.
No, they will be there, and they will be
I know.
talking to the media, et cetera,
I
as
know.
presidential candidates, telling the big lie, and they won't get it. They don't understand why nobody watches their debates. Their debates went from
Yeah.
20 million to 10 million to 5 million. Now, what does that tell you? That means that the Democrats who watch
Hey,
these
Pete.
debates
He's
are
talking to
turned off.
Tony, and I'm going to put you next.
don't
So
care.
would you like to talk to Pat for that?
So let's not get tricked by the polls or anything. Let's just get
Pete.
vote and get Trump the second
Okay.
term. Let's not believe any of the polls, but let's
Well,
get
that's
together
fine.
in this thing.
Right, and there's a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of energy. The Trump campaign is well financed and
Hold on,
very
you're gonna go on
smart.
next, okay, my friend?
Their
hold
social
on.
media operation is great. Their outreach and grassroots programs are fantastic. They're doing great. They really are. They're doing all the things you have to do. They are not taking anything for granted. They're running the way you're supposed to run if you're a winner, which is running scared. And that's all good. It's all good stuff because we have to win. If we don't win, I don't know.
Yeah.
Australia's far away.
Well, hey,
Where's that, huh?
just invaded.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Elections have consequences, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later in reference to the state of Maryland and what there has been a revolution in Maryland. Nobody even knows about it. I'm going to tell them about
Whoa,
it for
now.
the first time today. All right, Tony, thank you for the call. Yeah, we're going to take a look at how Maryland has become so anti-small business with this $15 minimum wage and how much trouble it's causing in New York and Seattle and California. And there is another bill that passed in California that's anti-small business. It's really a terrible bill.
Small business.
And you know, in Maryland, we are like the California clone.
So is your wheels.
If things are so bad in Maryland, people are
Happy Kwanzaa.
go to California.
I know.
It's bad.
That is bad. It's bad.
So Maryland is getting worse, and I'm going to tell you.
Thank you, Outlaw
I don't think
Joseph Wills. I'm
anybody
going to
has
give you a
told
bean
this
pie.
At
Mm-hmm.
this point in time. So keep on this show tonight because I'm going to tell you what happened. There was a revolution in Maryland, and you know Maryland's always been a liberal state, a terrible state. And it's interesting when I talk to people and they say, Pat, you know, Maryland is someday it's going to be worse than Massachusetts. It's going to be worse than New York. And I have to say to them, excuse me, Maryland is already worse
Yeah.
than Massachusetts, New Jersey, or New York. Much worse. And the future doesn't look good. And, you know, we are like the East Coast, California, except we have one other thing that they don't have that's really bad, and that's we have politicians who love criminals. And we have serious crime here, and it's not going to ever be fixed.
No.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
It's not going to ever be fixed. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll explain it tonight. But also, we're going to tell you what happened in Maryland that you didn't even know about. Of course, it was in the Baltimore Sun, but it was written as a minor thing. Like you didn't even. It's like an asteroid hit the state of Maryland about a month ago, and you didn't even notice it. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's very, very scary.
Oh my God.
So, now, if you have small children or people who have heart issues, you might not want to hear what I'm going to be telling you. But this is why I'm here. This is what I'm supposed to do, right? People run into me at the supermarket.
Yeah.
They say, Pat, I love you because you tell us the truth. You tell
That's
us
right.
things we don't
That's
know
right.
about.
That's
Why
right.
don't other people tell us these things? Well, they can if they can figure them out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do a little research,
Yes.
and sometimes it helps to have experience
Yes.
to understand what's going on in politics.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm grateful that I can help you. The asteroid is hit, but I feel sorry for the people that don't know it hit. But you people are going to know it hit. I don't know what you can do about it. I'll tell you what you can do about it, but I don't have a lot of faith. But anyway, we're also going to be talking about these juvenile predators. They're out of control. These 16, 17-year-old, 15-year-old kids, they're killing people. They're attacking people. They're hijacking cars. And nobody's doing anything about it. The juvenile justice system, which is run by Governor Hogan and George Soros. Yes, that's what I said. Governor Hogan and George Soros. Didn't know that, did you?
No.
They run the juvenile justice system, and everybody gets a pass. And Marilyn Mosby, she will not prosecute juveniles.
Why?
We had these 3 juveniles that killed the police officer in Baltimore County.
I remember that.
Just the tip of the iceberg. Stuff going on all the time. Little gunslingers, out of control, attacking people, and nothing's happening. And I hate to tell you, but nothing's going to happen.
Oh, man.
Okay? So you have Mosby, the prosecutor who doesn't prosecute. Oh, I lied. You caught me in a lie. She does prosecute cops. She prosecutes cops and she prosecutes correctional officers. Those people that are out there working every day to protect us, she prosecutes them. Yeah, she said there are 300 cops out of 2,000 in Baltimore City that are bad cops. She has no proof. Most of them are on the record of not having any complaints against them, but she's already put the mark on them. The mark is on them.
The mark is on them.
She's not going to prosecute when they lock somebody up. She's going to give more faith to the criminal, the offender, than she is to the cop who doesn't have any record against him. That's her decision. Just like it's her decision not to prosecute marijuana cases. And I'm talking about dealers. Where does she get that authority? And she wants to expunge 5,000 criminal cases. She doesn't have that authority. The people have that authority through the state legislature, not her. Now, what kind of prosecutor is she? So the juvenile predators are out there having a field day. They're coming into Baltimore County, and basically she's not prosecuting them. Are you happy with that? Okay. And then Mosby and the governor, as I've said many times, I'm not a fan of the governor. But when somebody's right, they're right. He's at least trying. He wants to give our taxpayers money to Baltimore City to do what? To fight crime. He wants 25 more prosecutors, which is what you need to move things along. I don't know, Governor. The only thing I can tell you, you got the right idea, but if they go to Mosby, she's not going to prosecute anyway, so why waste our money? That's one thing you got to look at. But he wants to give more money for fighting crime. And I know he said it, but he hasn't said it all. No, he's the governor. Maybe he can't say it. I can say it. They're all criminal advocates. The state legislature is infested with crime lovers, okay? And the city delegation where people are getting killed,
Carla Scott,
they're all crime lovers. They're criminal advocates, right? And what about the people they represent? Oh, well, they can go to where, okay? They don't matter. Their public safety doesn't matter. So this is a big problem. And do you know what the problem is? Let me tell you.
Yeah.
There's 3 strikes against us. That's you and me, okay? 3 strikes against us. Why we don't have decent neighborhoods. I'm going to tell you why. Number 1, it's the politicians. It's Mosby. It's Jack Young. It's Brendan Scott. It's the state legislators that represent the city and the county. Not all of them, but most of them. They're crime lovers, okay? Now, that's strike number 1. You know what strike number 2 is? Our money financing phony do-gooder nonprofits like the Justice Policy Group, which says let them all out. You shouldn't arrest the juvenile predators that are violent. Don't do that. And then you can't question them because they're too young. That's the second group, the ACLU, all financed by our tax money, right? You know what the third group is? The Baltimore Sun. The Baltimore Sun is a criminal-loving publication. They criticize the governor because he wants to do something about it. They'll criticize me. They'll criticize anybody that wants to stand up and fight. Now, I have told you before, you only need 2 things, right? All you need is what? Mandatory sentencing and $0. You'll never get a mandatory sentencing bill out of the General Asylum. Never in 100 years. So we are caught in a broken system that is killing us, literally killing us. You know, I was watching television the other day and they had a movie on called The Sum of All Fears. Have you ever heard of that movie?
You only have Keith and
That was Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman's one of my favorite actors. And the movie was simple. It was back in it was around 2002, I think. But the movie was about the nuclear bomb set off by terrorists in Baltimore City. And I said to my wife, I said, you know, there were more people killed in that movie by that. There were more people killed in that movie by that nuclear bomb in Baltimore, but not as many as to get killed out every weekend. Nuclear bomb. I mean, thousands
That's right. 3 strikes, you're out. That's good.
carjacks in the greater Baltimore area.
Yep.
700, close to 800 shootings, wounded people.
2 minutes.
So it's out of control. But there you go. What are we doing about it? So we're going to talk about Mosby, and we're going to talk about the Orioles. Something's going on there. They're talking about building the team. And this guy, Mike Elias, has come from the Astros, the Houston Astros, where he did a good job and built the championship team.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of credibility that he's going to do the same job here in Baltimore to rebuild the Orioles. And I think there may be a money problem. I'm concerned that we're not being told that the Angelos family and the Orioles have money issues related to Masson, this TV thing. And the Sun paper reporters, Peter Schmuck seems to be a little bit concerned, but John Mioli, the writer for the Sun, is just a sycophant. That means like a pisser for this Elias guy. We're going to talk about this. A fan wrote a letter to the Sun this week that really made a lot of sense, and it's very scary. We could lose this baseball team, and it's apparent that this guy Elias is anti-fan. He's anti-fan, and I think he's lying to us about building this team. I don't think he's really doing that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our callers.
By the time we get to Sunday, temperatures will be running just slightly above average, and then those temperatures will stay on the high side of average as we get into the upcoming holiday week. Now, those clouds build in. We'll run it back to the low to mid-20s for our Saturday. Look at the clouds, a little sunshine. The afternoon high gets up to the upper 30s. Low to mid-20s for our Saturday night, and then Sunday, sunshine, a few clouds, and a high right around 50. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Are you always apologizing for your dog's behavior? Need help communicating? At Canine Concepts, we can solve your problems. The answer to your problems is a phone call away. Call 410-477-2000 for a free demo evaluation. Call 410-477-2000. Obedience, protection, handicapped assistance, boarding, grooming, puppy preschool. Visit canineconcepts.com. The best for your dog. Call 410-477-2000.
When your vehicle needs help, Jeff's Automotive Services is the place to go. Your vehicle will be worked on by Automotive Service ASE certified technicians. Jeff services all vehicles, including cars, SUVs, trucks, both medium and light duty, and there are always specials available at Jeff's Automotive Services. Just call 410-682-5700. Jeff's Automotive Services is locally owned and conveniently located in the heart of Essex at 313 Mace Avenue. Jeff's is the winner of the Best Automotive Service Award for 2019 by the Avenue Newspaper's Readers Poll. Jeff's offers 10% discounts to all seniors and active military members and would like to thank our military members for their service. Jeff's Automotive Services has a name you can trust. Remember, call 410-682-5700 for Jeff's Automotive Services.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, over-designed, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Hey, digital goddess, I'm not worthy. Hail to thee.
Finally. Did you hear that, Andrew? How come you never talk to me like that?
Hail to thee.
Hail to thee, yes.
I've been listening so long, I bought one of those CC radio AM recorded radios and used to record your shows before you got the podcast.
The Kim Commando Show, Sunday nights, 10 p.m. until 1, exclusively on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Are you facing tax problems? No matter how long it's been since you last filed, if you have faced unemployment, loss of a family member, divorce, or illness, and feel you can't afford to fix your tax problems, contact Advantage Tax Service, the Tax Killer. With the Tax Killer Rescue Plan, you have options you'll find nowhere else. Since 1989, Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, has helped many Marylanders and others outside the state resolve their problems. Advantage Tax Service has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and works overtime to assist the taxpayer.
Overtime.
Penalty and interest.
A lot of fun, guy. We're going hard.
Each return as if it were their
We're going
own.
to kill this hour off. I'm going to go to another hour. It's going to be freaking great. Trust me.
Tom Marr when he did her ads. So give Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, a call at 410-869-TAXX, 410-869-8299, or online at taxkiller.com. That's taxkiller.com.
Hey, I'm in. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, over-designed, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade company. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with a special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cup, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343.
Frosty, Ron.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, call us, join the conversation, 410-922-6680. And I'm going to try to get to all these subjects I mentioned before the show is over. Especially, I want to talk to you about the Orioles, and I want to talk to you about the revolution, the asteroid that hit Maryland that nobody knows about.
There you go.
Okay, we're going to get into that. And also want to remind you, I want to go to our callers. I want to remind you that we are not going to have the Super Citizen TV show on tomorrow. Remember, we are now on every other week. It costs money. If you want us to be on every week, you got to help us out. Now, how do you do that? Very simple. You go to supercitizenusa.com, okay? PayPal. If you donate $20, you become a member of Super Citizen. Or you can donate whatever you want. You're still going to become a member if it's at least $20. Now, I know a lot of people do not have the internet. So how do you get in touch, and how do you join Super Citizen, and how do you keep Super Citizen TV and this radio show on the air? Okay, here's how you do it. You call my office at 410-238-0025, and I'll answer the phone, or you leave a message. Very simple. Pat, call me back. Give me your phone number. Pat, call me back. I want to help Super Citizen. That's 410-238-0025. Okay, let us go to Pete. Pete, good evening.
Go, Pete.
What's up?
First thing I want to say is this. This radio, I've been living here in Maryland for almost 40 years. I came here from Massachusetts, and I was involved in local government there for a while too. And one great thing about coming here was this: this radio station had two great talk show hosts, and Tom Marr and Les Gonsalves. They were great guys, and they were real talk show hosts, and they know how to do it. And unfortunately, they both passed away, and now we don't really have talk radio on this station anymore.
Oh, that's an insult to me.
Except for you.
Okay.
And the only problem is you're only on here for 2 hours one day.
Yeah, okay.
They could get you on every day.
Well, I can't work every day. I have a business to run.
I understand that.
But I think we might try to do some things in the future, Pete.
If you can, it would sure help out, because as I say, that's what we need. We need more talk radio, and less recording of stuff about the medicine stuff and financial stuff. But anyway, let's talk about this other stuff here, what you've been talking about here for the last hour. And basically, we are losing business in this state. We don't have, and one of the big things we don't have is we don't have proper law and order, and we have too many liberals. And how are we going to address this problem? I mean, if they don't want to have law and order, you're not going to have people wanting to spend money and start a business, are you? Well,
No. And Baltimore City, I like to put the equivalent to explain Baltimore City. The crime problem is so bad in Baltimore City, nothing else matters. And if you can't fix the crime problem, you will never fix the economy, the education, or anything else. It's like, I've got a toothache and my big toe hurts, but I also have cancer, okay? I'm not worried about the toothache and the big toe. I got to get rid of the cancer.
Well, what does it matter? Don't these people realize that these people that are running this, they can get hurt too.
They don't care.
What?
They don't care.
They don't care?
No, that's not important. No, I'm going to explain all that a little bit later, but I can tell you that the Democrats and the radicals that run this state and run the city and now run the county, unfortunately, they do not care about what you just pointed out, which a normal person would care, right?
Normal person. Kathy's here.
They don't care. All they care about is getting the vote and getting the money to get elected and hold the office, and they are all criminal advocates because the liberals run this state, the radicals run this state, and they are the contributors. They get money from these nonprofits like the Justice Policy Institute and the ACLU. And then, of course, on top of all of it, like a cherry on top, right, we have the Baltimore Sun constantly advocating for criminals and lying to the people.
Now, let me ask you one other question here as we go on here. Nancy Pelosi. I say Nancy Pelosi is mentally incompetent. If she's had to take a psychiatric they would say that she was off the record.
Randy Williams.
Yeah, she acts nutty. She really does. And unfortunately,
well, hello from Rick and Kathy. How you doing?
Nutty. The Democratic Party doesn't exist anymore. It's Randy a socialist. They're socialists. But let me say this to you. People used to ask me, what can I do? And in fact, you, in a way, you asked the same thing. And people ask that all the time. And in the past, I said, I don't know what you can do because we're outnumbered in this state. We have 6 million people. 1 in 6, 1 million are foreign nationals in this state. The good people like yourself and others are leaving. They're voting with their feet, and they're being replaced by people in the Washington area who are liberals or radicals. And they control the vote, and they control the power. Now, the only thing I say today, and I know this is self-serving, but I don't get anything out of it except hard work and aggravation. But if people say to me today, Pat, what can we do? I tell them I have an answer now. Join Super Citizen. That's what you have to do, because Super Citizen has this radio show, has a television show, and as Pete was pointing out earlier, we may have a bigger radio show, but that has to be coming through Super Citizen, and we need support.
Yeah,
so we've got over 1,000 people have joined, and it's growing. I can tell you it's growing all the time. And Super Citizen does 2 things, Pete. Number 1, it puts us on radio, television, and direct mail and social media.
Yes.
And number 2, it has a grassroots organization, so it unifies people. Now, no other organization in the state of Maryland does that. None.
Well, I think that's a great idea. And the thing that scares me the most about this upcoming election is that these socialists will do everything
It's crazy. Hello, everybody.
pass the ballot box.
Yes, they will.
I'm glad this is it. Last part of the first hour of Power. Check it out.
That's absolutely true, Pete. We got to go because we got another caller. Yeah, Pete's absolutely right. I didn't mention that, but that really bothers me, especially in Maryland. And when I'm going to tell you about the asteroid that hit the state in the revolution you don't know about, one of the problems with this revolution is, guess what? They want to change how we vote.
Oh,
They want to take our vote away. And that's going to come up in the General Assembly.
that's
I'm telling you, you have no idea what's coming. All right,
No.
let's talk with Cedric. Cedric, good evening.
Good evening, Pat. I wish you a Merry Christmas to the WCBM listening audience, you and your family, and everybody listening. Have a Merry Christmas and a safe New Year. Look, Pat, what I wanted to talk about was this upcoming election, Trump, right?
Yes.
And
That's in April, the primary in Maryland.
yes, and what I wanted to talk about was the black vote is going to be enormous in this next election.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I keep hearing talk about the battleground states. Donald Trump is winning all these battleground states, right?
At this time, yes.
Right. Yeah, Michigan, Pennsylvania,
Wisconsin.
Now, what I've been predicting and what I've been sticking to has been, they had this poll. It was a while ago. I think you even mentioned it last week. Like 34% approval rating in the black community.
Yeah, the Rasmussen poll plus a number of other polls.
Yes, yes. Now, here's the thing, Pat. If that can translate into 10 to 15% of the black vote, now
It's all over. It's over when that happens.
it's a done deal. And we need to eliminate the Democrat Party. We don't need to understand them. We don't need to debate them. We need to eliminate them.
Yes.
We need to just annihilate them.
We have to outpower them.
We absolutely do. And I'm really tickled to death because I caught your show, the Super Citizen show. I think it's on Channel 9, I think it is, on Verizon. But I've been watching it, and
it's a good show.
Stuff that's going on there, and
Good
it's
show.
good that we are getting some more visual.
Well, television, Cedric, I've learned after 20 years in politics and 30 years in the media that television is a powerful tool. And the reason it's powerful is because people who are what I call the golden vote, undecided independents, people like that, they are moved by television.
WCBM.
And we have noticed in people that have called us and sent us emails that they are independents. That television show is affecting independence. And that's good because for the first
Where are you
time,
calling from, William?
they are seeing a conservative or another viewpoint. And I got an email from a guy the other day. He's an independent. He said, how are you allowed to be on television?
Okay, and would you like to
couldn't
talk
believe
about that?
we were on television. I've never seen anything like that except on Fox National. How can you be a local? And I said, well, we're there. Let's keep us there,
And it's a powerful show. I'm watching that. It tickles me. I like it a lot. And I'm glad you're exposing that Maryland Assembly down there. That Maryland Assembly, that Maryland Mosby, what is she, a state attorney?
She's the state's attorney. She's the non-prosecutor.
She's a lunatic.
All right, William, we'll get you hopefully after the news, maybe, huh?
Or what is she, but every 4
All right,
years?
just hold on.
Well, she got reelected, which is amazing, so she's in there for 4 years.
Oh,
And Maryland, the only people she prosecutes are cops and correctional officers.
yes. She's a lunatic. I mean, she's talking about now just unleashing all of these felons onto the inner city is done. I don't know what.
Well, number one, she's not prosecuting people who are marijuana dealers, pot dealers. Number two, she wants to get rid of records en masse altogether of 5,000 criminals. Number three, she is not prosecuting these dangerous juvenile predators. And number four, she is going after after police officers, and she's going after correctional officers. What good is she for public safety?
Not good.
She is it's just like how you said.
Yes, she
earlier
is.
to Pete, you tried to explain to him.
Yes, she
that
is.
People don't care. See, we run into a problem with our high moral standards, that we believe that people that are affected by things will change the way that they act. Not these people. Not these people. These radicals, these communists that they have now, these leftists that are running the Democrat Party, you can forget about it.
Well, you're right. I'm just wondering when it's going to reach the point where there's so much crime, so much violence, and I'm telling you what's going to happen. This 90-day session starting on January the 8th of the General Assembly in Maryland, at the end of that 90-day session, people jaws will drop in this state. The jaws of the people
1
in this
minute,
state will
heartbreak.
drop.
With some of the stuff they did.
Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. All right, Cedric, we have to take a break for the news, but thank you for calling. And William, you can hold on. And others, if you want to get in, call us at 410-922-6680. Or you can do the long-distance toll-free number, which is 1-800-922-6680. And as I said, Super Citizen TV will not be on tomorrow. It's on every other week, so we'll be on next week, and I'll be filling in for Derek on Thursday. And I guess it's time to take a break, Ron.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break.
They told me, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, a newborn king.
Tell William I'll come to him right now.
Stay connected with stimulating talk and breaking news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM, Baltimore, and WCBM.com.
Fired up in Florida. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. President Trump speaking in West Palm Beach tonight, addressing a gathering of young conservatives at Turning Point USA Student Action Summit.
All of Washington powers that were already against us, they're losing, we're winning, and we're succeeding in our mission to make America great again.
President spending the next 2 weeks at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Members of his legal defense team are there too, working on his defense ahead of the president's Senate impeachment trial, expected to start sometime next month. At that event in Florida tonight, the president making fun of the Green New Deal. Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who was the warm-up act tonight at a California campaign event for Senator Bernie Sanders, talked about that measure she has co-sponsored in the House.
If you want to know what we risk if we don't act adequately on climate, look at what is happening in Australia right now.
Speaking of which,
we must take action on climate change. We are taking action on climate change.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison acknowledging the link between climate change and those massive bushfires sweeping across New South Wales. 2 now burning around Sydney, 1 person found dead. 6 dead, 13 injured, 5 critically after fire swept through an apartment building in Las Vegas early this morning. Temperatures dipped down to the 30s overnight, and that building had no heat, so some turned on their stoves to keep warm. Some people had to jump from upper floor windows to escape the flames and the thick smoke. America is listening to Fox News.
Living the Bream is a podcast hosted by Fox News Channel's Shannon Bream, sharing inspirational stories, personal anecdotes, and an insider's perspective on actions and rulings from the High Court. Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. America's listening to Fox News.
Fox Nation is the streaming service that celebrates America every day. And now through Christmas, we're giving new members 35% off yearly plans. Enter the promo code CELEBRATE at foxnation.com to become a member of Fox Nation now. That's promo code CELEBRATE for 35% off Fox Nation. Start streaming today.
It's the holiday season, and it's the perfect time to give that Fox News fan in your life the greatest gift of all, exclusive Fox News gear. Go to shop.foxnews.com and use code RADIO at checkout for free shipping on your first order. Fox News hats, t-shirts, mugs, jackets, travel mugs, and so much more. That's shop.foxnews.com. And be sure to use code RADIO at checkout for free shipping on your first order. Happy holidays from Fox News Channel.
A Florida couple now facing murder charges because of what they fed their young son.
Investigators say Ryan and Sheila O'Leary starved their 18-month-old son to death. The boy's mother called 911 last September and reported the child was cold and stopped breathing. Cape Coral police say he only weighed 17 pounds at the time. That's the average weight of a child less than half his age. The couple told investigators they are a vegan family and only feed their children raw fruit and vegetables. This week, a grand jury indicted the pair on a murder charge after a medical examiner ruled that their child died due to malnutrition, including dehydration. Tom Graham, Fox News.
He served 7 years in prison for a 2010 murder he did not commit. Authorities in Texas say They will begin the process of exonerating
Bada boom.
42-year-old Lydell Grant. He was serving a life sentence for the stabbing death of 28-year-old Aaron Shearhorn, killed outside a club in Houston. A new test using more advanced DNA technology not only cleared Grant, but led police to another suspect.
All right.
Jamarco
Steaming out.
arrested this week in Georgia and confessed. The brother of San Francisco 49ers quarterback C.J. Beathard fatally stabbed along with another man outside a bar in Nashville. 22-year-old Clayton Beathard, the grandson of NFL Hall of Famer Ron Beathard. Fight over a woman started in all police looking for suspects. Another year, another division title for the New England Patriots. They're 11th atop the AFC East. The call, courtesy the NFL Network. Rex Burkhead's
10
TV
seconds.
with 5 minutes left in the game. The Pats ahead. They beat Buffalo 24-17. Jay Metzler, Fox News.
Time again Sunday. Temperatures will be running just slightly above average, and then those temperatures will stay on the high side of average as we get into
Good.
the upcoming holiday.
It's freezing sucks.
Now, those clouds still need to be running back to the low to mid-20s for our Saturday. Clouds, a little sunshine. The afternoon high gets up to the upper 30s. Low to mid-20s for our Saturday night. And then Sunday, sunshine, a few clouds, and a high right around 50. I'm Jeff Eno, Weather Channel. We're Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
If you need hotel accommodations for your business clients or out-of-town guests, the Hampton Inn Owings Mills is perfect. The Hampton Inn Owings Mills is located close to the heart of Baltimore. At the Hampton Inn, you'll enjoy the comforts of home and friendly service. Start your day out right with Hampton Inn's free hot breakfast served daily. In a rush and no time for breakfast? Hampton Inn Owings Mills provides free on-the-run breakfast bags. Available Monday through Friday. For lunch and business suggestions, their knowledgeable team members will direct you to the finest restaurants just minutes away. At the Hampton Inn Owings Mills, guests receive clean and fresh accommodations, free high-speed internet, a business center open 24/7. Plus, guests enjoy a heated indoor swimming pool and access to the fitness center. Book your reservations for Hampton Inn Owings Mills at hampton.com or call 410-654-2780. 410-654-2780.
When you can't sleep or suffer from anxiety and stress, Beechwood CBD is the safe, gentle answer. Beechwood CBD, sold at CBM.com.
The truth. Government, I think, is starting to realize that people are really focusing on what they're doing, and that's a good thing.
Is closer than ever.
We've had plenty of science confirming ET presence for a long time.
Get closer.
The problem is political.
With Coast to Coast AM.
No, people can't study it. You're not supposed to talk about it. If you do, we'll ridicule it. The government made a political decision to deny the science, embargo the issue, ridicule it, and diminish it as much as possible.
Every night from 1 to 5. Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Broadcasting live from the WCBM Safe Retirement Solutions studios. Call Rod Baroy at 410-266-1120 or on the web at saferetirementsolutions.com.
The views and opinions you hear on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and WCBM.com are not necessarily those of the owners, management, employers, and advertisers of WCBM, but they should be.
The Pat McDonough Show is brought to you by Rally for America. Now more of the Pat McDonough Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Boom. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining us. We appreciate your loyalty every Saturday night. And I was at the restaurant in Dundalk, the Boulevard Diner.
Boulevard.
Good place.
Yeah.
Had pot roast.
Ooh.
Well, it was good. And I was talking to a new member of our group, Danielle Brassard, a very talented young lady, and she's joining Super Citizen with our production as a reporter and a commentator. She's really, really good. We'll have her on the radio show in the future. And we were sitting there, and a guy came by, and kind of funny hat on, And he said, "Oh, you're Pat McDonough." I said, "Yes." He said, "I'll be tuning into your show tonight. I listen every Saturday. I might call in." I said, "Okay." I said, "Wait a minute, am I on tonight?" He said, "Yes, you are." I said, "Okay." I'm losing track of time. But we're going to get to this asteroid, this revolution that occurred in Maryland that you didn't even know about. But it's my job, my responsibility to tell you this stuff.
Yes, it is.
Because if I don't tell you, guess what? Nobody will. All right? And we're going to look at this Oreo thing. This Oreo thing is very, very scary.
Yeah.
But anyway, 410-922-6680. If you want to join us in the last hour, 410-922-6680. And here is William. William, good evening.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for holding on.
Hey, no problem. I was listening to you and I had a lot to say. I was wondering, what is the story behind Cheryl Glenn resigning? It's been kind of hush-hush and
Oh, yeah.
not saying too much. So I'm just wondering what's going on. I was legislating.
Yeah, I tried my intelligence system. Couldn't get anything.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, man, but it's like you said, it's kind of like it's insidious with the legislature, with the with all the people in the city and all that. It's a lot of corruption. I'm starting to think that everybody's corrupt.
Well, it's corrupt, but also, William, it's their agenda is corrupt. I mean, it hurts. It hurts people. But Cheryl Glenn, whom I like very much, and I still do, but I don't know what's going on with Cheryl, but Cheryl is a very powerful and influential person in the General Assembly for the city. And for her to resign, of course, we don't know. I'll tell you, I've checked out my sources, and nobody knows anything. Now, she was big with the marijuana issue. Maybe she's going to become a lobbyist, but that was for medical marijuana. That doesn't translate that she's going to be for recreational marijuana. There's going to be a big push. Maybe she's a lobbyist for recreational marijuana, make some really serious money. She's always been with the unions. Maybe she has a union position. Maybe she has a health issue. I know her husband passed away a couple years ago. He had a health issue. I think it was unexpected. I'm not sure. But so I don't know why Cheryl is resigning. She was the head of the Black Caucus. She's a very powerful person.
Yes, that's really shocked to hear that. And I wanted to say something about the last call. I agree with them because I talked to a lot of people. And I'm a black man. I'm going to be voting for Trump. And I think it was wrong, and I watched some of that on TV last week. One time, man, I was a Democrat, but I started looking at these people like I agree with you with about Marilyn Mosley. And sometimes I wonder. I called the talk show one time and told her, I said, "You supposed to be a prosecutor." I said, "But maybe you should be a defense attorney because it seems like you're supposed to be prosecuting people, but it seems like you're on the side of the criminal. You're on the side of police officers." I said, "Do you think that anybody in their right mind would join the Baltimore City Police Department and your hands are tied? You can't do anything to these people." I travel to the city, man, all the time on public transportation. You smell the marijuana all on the bus, all in the subway, man. These people are literally smoking the stuff on the bus now. They don't really care. They are, the traffic, the filthiness of the city, man. People hanging on corners, police. I suggested that, why don't you be like they did back in the early 90s? I said, police officers just might start, that was talking about the broken windows thing. I was saying police officers need to stop these guys like for lottery or for.
Oh no, they won't touch them, William. They're scared to death.
It's bad, man. It's going to scare business. And Baltimore City is going to be like that movie, Escape from New York, when they put the fences around the city. That's why I had to move out of that city. Before my wife passed.
Well, why do you think people are moving out of the city? Why do you think Baltimore
Sharon,
County has increased by 100,000 people?
It's here.
It's not all Section 8. It's people are moving because they don't see any hope for the future. The politicians are all
Sharon
the same.
Stone.
Jack Stone doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
No, he does.
Sharon Stone.
He's confident and he does not know how to be.
Nicholas Antioch.
Some good things and then a lot of dumb things. He's got no personality. TJ, the guy that's running, who's was with the police department, I like what he's saying so far. I like what he's saying. The Indian guy, I like what he's saying somewhat, but he's like Brendan Scott. He's half good and he's half bad. And then you have Mary Washington is so far in left field.
Yes.
If Mary Washington won, she would resign and let Bernie Sanders be the mayor.
Oh my God.
I mean, Mary, another nice person, but Mary is so far in left field, she won't lock up anybody. She won't lock up anybody. And then you have Sheila.
Yes.
Now I think Sheila's going to win that race because you got 4 guys. The only thing that can prevent her from winning is a whole reformation of thinking in Baltimore City, and also Mary Washington might cut into her female vote. But the biggest vote in Baltimore City are black women, and Sheila won every black precinct against Healthy Holly the last time.
There are few and I don't know, man. It's just a mess. And,
it's very sad.
I disagree with a lot of what you said, man, about the city and everything. But I just don't know, man. Unless we have a change of thinking, man. In the city.
I don't see it. The only way I see it now. Sheila was not too bad with the police. Sheila is not a radical. Sheila was not too honest, but she is more of an old-fashioned liberal, even a moderate as a politician. Mary Washington is way out in left field.
Sharon Stone says,
Jack
how's
is incompetent. Brendan Scott he's got too many bad ideas.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has the personality to be a leader.
Well,
TJ
I couldn't
is
find
promising. The Indian guy is promising. But I think Sheila might win that unless Washington takes black female votes from her.
I heard her say 2 things that I agree with. She said that she would be for the spy plane, and she also said that police hands really tied me, and I agree with her.
Yeah, well, that's good. Let me tell you, that's encouraging.
So there's 2 things that I said. Same thing I said, wow. But at least she's admitting, because she said the police need to do aggressive police. You know what I'm saying? Because police, you can't have people working in the police department that are scared to do their jobs, man, and thinking about going to court.
Well, she's right about that, and that's good. Yeah, and Sheila was like that when she was the mayor, except she put her hand in a cookie jar.
Right.
But she's old enough, and she's still young enough in a way to have learned a lesson. And I think sometimes you got to give people a second chance. I don't think she's going to steal those gift cards anymore.
Okay.
No, I don't think. And you know
it's
what?
good to see you too, Sharon Stone.
You know what can go down. And another thing, I'm going to say about this. They're always talking about, well, the white people get away with it. Why we can't do it? I'm like, look, they're going to lock them up, and they should lock you up too, because if you are down there doing something, you ain't got no business like that with you. Because the picture's going to get slapped.
Well, that's what the ACLU and the justice policy people, that's what they promote. But the bottom line, William, is everybody's getting away with it.
That's right. Not just black people.
Everybody.
Man, I'm just tired of hearing it, man. Black people,
Everybody.
Let's help, man. It really gets on my nerves. I'm just tired of people throwing race up all the time.
All right, William.
It's just a cop-out card. You know?
All right. Thank you for calling. All right. Now, I want to talk about this meteor, this asteroid, this bomb that hit Maryland politics a couple of months ago.
Wow.
And nobody thought about it. Of course, the sun misled you.
Of course.
The sun played the whole thing down. But here's what you got to understand. Let's take just the issue of crime. People say, oh, we got to send in the police. Well, it's not just the police. The police generally try to do their job. Of course, in Baltimore City, they can't do their job. But it's really the law. For example, mandatory sentencing. Mandatory sentencing means if you get 10 years, you get 10 years. And one of the problems are the judges are all soft in Baltimore City. And that's politics. They're politicians. They're appointed by the governor and other politicians. They're all soft. You know, the gun law, mandatory 10 years on a gun case, right? Now, what happens? Only 16% of the people who commit violent crime with guns or murders are prosecuted on the gun law. And they only get, instead of 10 years, they might get a year. Or it's dropped. So the politicians are pro-criminal. They're not, they're anti-gun for us who don't break the law and have guns. But for the criminals, it's okay to have guns. So that's an attitude. But the mayor controls the police. And if the mayor is not a Giuliani, but if the mayor is a soft on crime criminal advocate, which is what the mayor is right now, and all the mayors have been that way, except maybe Sheila, because crime was way down when Sheila was mayor. But they're all like that. Then you have the city council. You have Brendan Scott and these other people. They talk about crime, but they don't do anything about it. But the real criminal fighting legislation is in the General Assembly. That's where the laws are made. That's where it's mandatory sentencing. That's where it's zero tolerance. That's where the judges are appointed. That's where the juvenile crime laws are made. That is where convicted felons voting was made. That is where the elimination of the death penalty was made. That was where the elimination of all the mandatory sentencing was made. So it's the state senators and the delegates. And all of the state senators and delegates from Baltimore City, where all these people are suffering from crime, and now we're suffering in Baltimore County from it. It's spreading out everywhere. The politicians that these people elect are all pro-criminal. You people are complaining and crying about crime, and you're electing the criminal's best friend to give them all the power. Now, the Baltimore Sun lies to you. They won't tell you that. You have a state's attorney you voted for who's pro-criminal.
Right.
And this nonsense about, oh, it's poor people and they all get locked. No,
Poor
they don't get locked up.
people.
They're all getting out. They're on the streets. So here's where it really got bad. This is what happened. This is the bombshell. I'm going to do this. We're going to take a quick break. Ron wants to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you the bombshell that hit Maryland in a big way about 2 or 3 months ago.
Old toy trains, little toy tracks, little boy toys coming from a sack, carried by a man dressed in white.
Are you facing tax problems? No matter how long it's been since you last filed, if you have faced unemployment, loss of a family member, divorce, or illness, and feel you can't afford to fix your tax problems, contact Advantage Tax Service, the Tax Killer. With the Tax Killer Rescue Plan, you have options you'll find nowhere else. Since 1989, Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, has helped many Marylanders and others outside the state resolve their problems. Advantage Tax Service has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and works overtime to assist the taxpayer to avoid additional penalty and interest. They are here all year, preparing each return as if it were their own. And Rose Harbaugh, owner of Advantage Tax Service, met and was interviewed by Tom Marr when he did her ads. So give Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, a call at 410-869-TAXX, 410-869-8299, or online at taxkiller.com. That's taxkiller.com.
Are you always apologizing for your dog's behavior? Need help communicating? At K9 Concepts, we can solve your problems. The answer to your problems is a phone call away. Call 410-477-2000 for a free demo evaluation. Call 410-477-2000. Obedience, protection, handicap assistance, boarding, grooming, puppy preschool. Visit K9Concepts.com. The best for your dog. Call 410-477-2000.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, over-designed, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering 100% quality guarantee.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. So how's everybody doing? The second hour of power. Second hour of power is right here, right now. A lot of fun. I'm telling you, this is where you want to learn. Listen, check it out. It's terrific. Always terrific.
All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
This holiday season, we salute those who have served and share the story of a unique home away from home for families of our active duty military and veterans who are wounded, sick, or injured. The Fisher House Story, hosted by Mary Walter at Washington, D.C.
The Fisher House Story, brought to you by Johnson Prospering Funeral Home and Reverse Mortgage Answers. Thursday morning, 6 a.m. to 9 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
How in the world does a Christmas tree on a courtyard affect me in the practice of my religion?
'Tis the season
Not in the least.
for some grieving.
I'm still unmolested. I can still practice my religion or not.
Mark Levin.
Or stand on my head and play the bongos or do whatever I want. It's just so fundamentally stupid. Hallelujah, it's Christmas time.
Don't miss the great one. Weekdays at 10 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Without you.
And now more of the Pat McDonough Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
I'm going to tell the president. Elvis. Oh, I haven't missed it. Anyway, let me explain to you how the system works. You hear me talking about the Maryland General Assembly, and I call it the Maryland General Asylum because it is crazy. But here's how it works. You have the state Senate, of which there are 47 members, and you have the House of Delegates, of which there are 141 members. Just like Congress, the Senate is the upper house, the House is the lower house. Now, a lot of times, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but here's how it works. You wonder, how are these laws made? How do they come? How do they pass? 3,000 laws introduced, only, 300 get. How does that happen? Well, here's how it works. You have 6 major committees in the Senate, and you have 6 major committees in the House, okay? Everything has to come through the committees. Anything that's going to become a law or not become a law has to come through the committees. But here's where it really starts. They have what they call subcommittees.
WCBN,
Every committee has 3 or 4 subcommittees. That's where all the power is. That's where all the laws start. For example, a bill comes in about mandatory sentencing.
Oh, you don't want to go in the air?
Subcommittee on public safety. Now, if the members of that subcommittee believe in public safety and crime victims protection, they will pass that mandatory sentencing bill. It'll come out of the subcommittee, and once it comes out of the subcommittee, the committee automatically passes it. Because the subcommittee passed it, the big committee passes it.
Yes.
Now, once it comes out of committee and goes to the floor of the House or the Senate, the chances of it, that bill passing for mandatory sentence are really good. But here's the problem. When those subcommittees,
thank you very much.
Those chairs
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
are pro-criminal.
All right,
So if you have a bill in the public safety subcommittee,
people just call to talk to me, just talk to me.
it's for mandatory sentencing, guess what?
I love you, talk soon, love you, talk soon, Sharon Stone, love
And if
you.
it dies in the
Talk
subcommittee,
soon.
it's dead. Now, here is the big bombshell. For years, the House of Delegates was controlled by Michael Bush, one of the longest-serving speakers of the House in the United States. And the state Senate was controlled by another Michael Miller, who was the longest-serving state Senate president in the United States. Now, these 2 old white guys had a lot of power, right? Well, Michael Bush passed away last year. So finally, he was done. Adrienne Jones from Baltimore County, an African-American woman who's been in the House a long time, very experienced. But Adrienne is not as conservative as Michael Bush was. But here's the important factor. This is the one that matters. This is the one you need to pay attention to. In the state Senate, Mike Miller, who was the president for a record number of years, is very ill. So Mike Miller stepped aside. He's no longer the president of the Senate, and the very liberal, almost radical state senators voted to replace Mike Miller, and they replaced him with a guy named Ferguson from Baltimore City, rather young guy who's been in there for a couple terms. I'm going to tell you this, it doesn't get any more radical than Senator Ferguson. So people used to call talk radio all the time. They would call this show, they would call CBM, they'd call other radio stations, and they would always say, gee, I wish we could just get rid of that darn Mike Miller and that darn Mike Bush. And I used to tell them, I would say, if that ever happens, you may yearn for the good old days of Miller and Bush. You may pray that they come back. Well, now it's happened. Now you're going to find out what Pat McDonough was talking about, okay? Now, the real problem, the asteroid, the meteor that struck Maryland politics is Ferguson. Ferguson is now the most powerful man in the state of Maryland, in some ways more powerful than the governor, because Larry Hogan has no real power. I mean, he has power to run the bureaucrats but he doesn't introduce the agenda. He introduces the budget and then they tear it apart. The power is in the General Assembly, and the General Assembly used to be dominated by Democrat liberals who passed a lot of bad stuff like the DREAM Act, driver's licenses for illegals and all that stuff. But now the General Assembly is no longer controlled by the liberal Democrats. It is now controlled by the radical Democrats. And Ferguson is a radical, Miller was not. And all the bad and crazy legal marijuana, let everybody out of jail, let criminals in prison vote, all came out of the House of Delegates and would go to the Senate, and Mike Miller would stop it. He'd kill it or he'd amend it. Now, he let a lot of bad stuff out. I'm not saying he didn't. But I'm telling you, there was my 20 years down there was some really bad stuff, okay? And Miller stopped it. Well, he's gone. Now, Ferguson isn't going to stop anything. Here's what Ferguson already did. Remember I told you how powerful those subcommittees were? And what they meant? He's eliminated most of the chairs of those subcommittees. Those old Democrats who were veterans, Democrats who were liberals, but not radical, sort of traditional Democrats. He got rid of all of them. And now he's put in radicals who've only served one term from Montgomery County, Prince George's County. They are now in charge of those subcommittees. What that means is the bad stuff is coming. There's no stop. And you'll say, well, what about the governor? He could certainly veto this stuff. The governor does not have a veto. He technically has a veto, but they override every veto he's ever had. They have the votes to just override. So they have the power. So I'm telling you, watch the next 90 days. They're going to start January the 8th. Watch the stuff that comes out of there. I'll give you an example. They passed that $15 minimum wage, okay? Now, we know that that's bad. It's going to kill restaurants. It's killing all the good restaurants in San Francisco. I'm telling you, San Francisco, they're losing half their restaurants. And Seattle and New York. It's going to happen here eventually. Now, their laws are a little worse than ours, but still bad. Now, these radicals that are now in charge of the General Asylum, they love to mimic and copy California, right?
Right.
So California passed a bill that says we have in business, I'm a business person, we have in business what we call independent contractors, especially a creative business. Like I have people that work for us who do the production or the creative stuff you see on the television, but I'm only one of their clients. They do it for 10 other companies. So they're a consultant. And they are considered an independent contractor. They don't actually work for my company. They're a consultant. So I don't have to pay their Social Security. I don't have to pay their taxes. They do all that. I just pay them a fee. And in the tax world, they get what is called a 1099. It's a tax form from us. We have creative people who do our layout for our magazine. The young lady that does our layout is wonderful. She's an artist, but she does it for all kinds of people. We're just one of her clients. I'm a client. She doesn't work for me. She's a consultant. She's a client. She's an independent contractor. In California, they passed a law that you can't have independent contractors. If you pay someone who's a consultant that has all kinds of other clients, you have to pay all their benefits. This is the only state in the country. It's crazy. Now, this kills small business, like my business. Kill all kinds of small businesses, independent contractors, consultants. Kills them all. In California, They are falling dead by the roadside. Businesses are going. Now, remember this, 90% of the jobs in America are not created by Apple or Amazon. They're created by small businesses.
Wow.
And now 60% of the small businesses in America, especially the new businesses, are women and minorities.
Wow.
It's new small businesses. I mean, you go around, you see your mom and pop shops, who's running them? So this is killing the opportunity. Now, these liberals, these radicals, oh, we love the black people. Oh, we love the women. Oh, we love the Hispanics. Well, what are they doing? They are killing the opportunity for these minorities to create new businesses in America, which create 90% of the jobs, which are startup jobs, new jobs, which is what Hispanics and blacks and women get into in a lot of cases. Not the big corporations. They don't care. Okay? So watch what happens with this new state senate. Watch if one of these people comes up with this idea to put this money together for state spending. Watch if they come up with a sales tax on services. Like when you get your taxes done, you're going to pay a sales tax. So now we do a sales tax on products and stuff. They don't want a sales tax on services. They want to make the state an official sanctuary state. That's going to fly. They're talking about recreational marijuana. It might pass in this session, or some form will pass, so that it'll be on the ballot in the election year 2022. What I'm telling you is, with the removal of Mike Miller and the death of the late Mike Bush, the General Assembly, which controls the state of Maryland because we have a weak governor who is outnumbered by the Democrats and the radicals, the whole state has now changed. Now, the Baltimore Sun will not do that editorial. The Baltimore Sun will not do that
Won't do
article.
that. No.
I don't know if other talk show hosts have figured this out to explain it to you. I served there 20 years. I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen. Okay? And like Pete was saying, you know, I think he has some credibility. Earlier in the show, he says sometimes there's too much national news. Well, we can get the national news on Hannity and on Fox and on One America, get all the national news we want, right? Sometimes you need to focus on the local stuff and what's happening. I think that's what I bring to the table that's important. I don't know if anybody's going to, you don't have to believe what I just told you, but I'm telling you that this is what's going to happen. This is a front page story. This is an important story because this will impact and affect every Marylander. Everyone listening to this show. You know, there are Democrats out there who are moderate. There are moderate Democrats in this state. Some of them are thinking about becoming Republicans, but not all of them. There are liberal Democrats out there who are traditional, old-fashioned liberals. Okay? And they're not too comfortable with the radicals. They're not comfortable at all. Most real liberals are not comfortable with socialism. They don't like socialism. And there are a lot of liberals in Maryland, Democrats, who are not to the far left. They don't want to be the far left. They understand that their party has been kidnapped by a bunch of socialist radicals who are controlling things now. So what's happening in the General Assembly now, there are probably a lot of Democrats that are not going to be happy with that. But they don't, just like the Republicans and the conservatives,
Thank you so much.
they don't have any influence over it. What's going to happen is going to happen. And this is going to have a tremendous effect. Now, you know, there was the argument about the $15 wage, the minimum wage. And we know what's happening in Seattle, San Francisco, New York, killing the restaurant business, killing. Let me tell you what you don't know. You know, we live in a country where there are a lot of senior citizens. There are a lot of elderly people. And people are living longer than they used to live. But even though they're living longer, they have a lot of ailments, a lot of problems. Diabetes, blood pressure. They need knee replacements, hip replacements. They need Medicare. But guess what? The fastest growing industry for jobs in America is care workers. They're called care workers.
Yeah.
These are people that work in nursing homes. These people that work in hospitals. These are people that work at Patient First. These are people that work for the Angels, that company called the Angels. Go around and help senior citizens and feed them. These are called care workers. Now, these care workers are the unsung heroes of today's America for seniors or for disabled people, people who need the most help in our society. These care workers are angels and they're heroes. They're unsung. This $15 wage is going to put them out of business. At a time when the population of this country is growing for the seniors and for disabled and for people who have health issues, when we need care workers now more than ever, forget about the restaurants. But these care workers are going to be laid off or fired, and some of these little care companies, which are like mom and pop shops, are going to go out of business. That's what that $15 wage. That was the argument that was never made in Annapolis when the radicals wanted to pass this $15. And that is the unsung thing that's going on that people don't know about. They don't consider. And who are a lot of the care workers? Women and minorities. And they're going to lose their jobs. Okay? Now, if the governor wanted to do something effective without going through the legislature, he should get the Department of Health and the Department of Planning and the Department of Commerce and put together a study group to find out with companies all around Maryland how the $15 wage is going to impact the care workers of Maryland. How many are going to be laid off? How many? That is what the governor wants, an argument and a fight about that $15. Of course, it's passed now. But let the people of Maryland know what they're going to lose. These unsung heroes, these angels that take care of our most needy in society are going to be up against it. And it's unavoidable. It's not their fault. It's not the small businesses' fault. The money isn't there. The money isn't there. Okay, I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back for the final segment of the Pat McDonough Show.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me and a partridge in a pear tree. By the time we get to Sunday, temperatures will be running just slightly above average, and then those temperatures will stay on the high side of average as we get into the upcoming holiday week. Now, those clouds build in. We'll run it back to the low to mid-20s for our Saturday. Look for the clouds, a little sunshine. The afternoon high gets up to the upper 30s. Low to mid-20s for our Saturday night. And then Sunday, sunshine, a few clouds, and a high right around 50. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Allow me to offer some sound advice. More than 35 million men, women, and children have hearing loss, and the number is growing. You need to begin your journey toward healthy hearing now by calling Clarity and Comfort Hearing Center at 410-256-1006. The center is located in Perry Hall. Begin your journey to healthy hearing by calling Clarity and Comfort Hearing Center at 410-256-1006. This message is sound advice.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, over-designed, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water spots on your walls or ceilings? Do you have leaks around your chimney or skylights? If so, then you may need to repair or replace your roof before the damage escalates. Call Wallace Roofing at 410-655-3700. Wallace Roofing, family owned and operated, is your full-service roofing company. specializing in steep and flat roofs, all types of metal roofs, gutters, downspouts, and skylights. They do residential and commercial roofs. Getting a roof repaired is something most homeowners dread. And when the roof does need repair, it's important to get not only the finest quality materials available, but a fair and reasonable price on installing those materials as well. So if your roof is showing signs of wear or other problems, call Wallace Roofing, 410-655-3700. 410-655-3700. Wallace Roofing does roof repair and replacement. Call Wallace Roofing today at 410-655-3700. Your MHIC number is 1566. Wallace Roofing. Above all, a good roof.
From the creator of The Perfect Phone Call, it was perfect comes the perfect gift, right? The 2019 Trump Christmas doll. Blow my string, but no pressure. Oh, okay, all right.
No quid pro quo, only ho ho ho.
Clever. There's more. More?
I'll be ho when honest.
Well, that's nice.
In the White House.
4 more years. Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Maybe more, who knows?
Merry Christmas.
And a silent night for Sleepy Joe Biden.
Talk Radio 680.
It's tired. So tired.
WCBM.
Listen Sundays at 9 a.m. for Radio Mass of Baltimore, the live liturgy of the Sunday Mass from St. Ignatius Church in downtown Baltimore. And again at 6 p.m. for a rebroadcast. Following the Mass, stay tuned for a message from the Archdiocese of Baltimore on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Are you facing tax problems? No matter how long it's been since you last filed, if you have faced unemployment, loss of a family member, divorce, or illness, and feel you can't afford to fix your tax problems, contact Advantage Tax Service, the Tax Killer. With the Tax Killer Rescue Plan, you have options you'll find nowhere else. Since 1989, Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, has helped many Marylanders and others outside the state resolve their problems. Advantage Tax Service has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and works overtime to assist the taxpayer to avoid additional penalty and interest. They are here all year, preparing each return as if it were their own. And Rose Harbaugh, owner of Advantage Tax Service, met and was interviewed by Tom Marr when he did her ads. So give Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee, a call at 410-869-TAXX, 410-869-8299, or online at taxkiller.com. That's taxkiller.com.
When your vehicle needs help, Jeff's Automotive Services is the place to go. Your vehicle will be worked on by Automotive Service ASE certified technicians. Jeff services all vehicles, including cars, SUVs, trucks, both medium and light duty, and there are always specials available at Jeff's Automotive Services. Just call 410-682-5700. Jeff's Automotive Services is locally owned and conveniently located in the heart of Essex at 313 Mace Avenue. Jeff's is the winner of the Best Automotive Service Award for 2019 by the Avenue Newspaper's Readers Poll. Jeff's offers 10% discounts to all seniors and active military members and would like to thank our military members for their service. Jeff's Automotive Services has a name you can trust. Remember, call 410-682-5700 for Jeff's Automotive Services.
Listen every Sunday from 6:05 to 6:20 a.m. for a broadcast from the internationally known St. Jude Shrine in Baltimore. St. Jude is the patron saint of despair and hopeless cases. Join us every Sunday from 6:05 to 6:20.
Last part of 2 hours of power, man. Stay tuned. You're going to love it.
And now more of the Pat McDonough Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this evening and listening to the Pat McDonough Show. And want to remind you once again that Super Citizen TV will not be on tomorrow, Sunday at 10 o'clock at its usual hour. It's on every other Sunday, so we will be with you again next Sunday. And we are trying to get into a situation where we are on every week, and it takes a little bit of money to do that. So if you'd like to support the program and support Super Citizen, and in fact, if you'd like to become part of Super Citizen, it costs $20 to join Super Citizen. Visit our website at supercitizenusa.com. Supercitizenusa.com, and there's a PayPal there. our TV shows are there also. If you've missed them, they're all there. But also, if you're not online, and a lot of people are not, we understand that, you can get involved with Super Citizen by calling my office at 410-238-0025. And I'll answer the phone, or someone from the office will answer the phone, or there is a answering machine, the old-fashioned answering machine. And basically, you can leave your name and phone number. Don't leave your address and everything, just your name and phone number, and we will call you back and tell you how you can become part of Super Citizen. So the TV show will be on next Sunday, and it's very important to have, look, let's be honest, it's the only conservative public affairs television show on television in the entire state of Maryland. Now, you can watch Fox every day and, see national TV, but they don't talk about, like we just talked. What did we talk about? We talked about the General Assembly and the new radical leadership in the General Assembly and how that's going to affect you. Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity aren't going to talk about that. Okay? They're not interested in that. But it's very dangerous, and you need to know about it. They're not going to talk about, unless the president says something about crime in Baltimore. Okay? But we explain it, and we're honest, and you get a different viewpoint. You don't get the Sun paper's viewpoint, okay? Now, here's another thing we want to get a different viewpoint. This is a letter written by William Tress. Now, he's a big Oriole fan, and I can tell you, I'm not nowhere near am I a sports expert, but I am an Oriole fan and I am a Raven fan. This letter says a lot about what I have been thinking about. I think the fans of the Orioles are really getting shortchanged. This new general manager, we got rid of Buck. I mean, Buck was great, in my opinion, our manager. And we also, this new guy, Mike Elias, I think his name is, he eliminated our whole scouting team, all of our scouts. Now, there's got to be at least one good scout there, okay? Got rid of everybody. And then he got rid of a lot of our executives, okay? Man, this guy's cleaning house. Oh, I'm going to start from the bottom. We're going to rebuild the whole thing. I got to be honest with you, just forget about baseball. I've never trusted people that come in and rip the heart out of an organization. There's always got to be some good people in there. You just don't throw them all out, the baby with the bathwater, as they say. So I don't like that. And then he got rid of FanFest. FanFest was a popular thing every year down at the arena, where literally thousands of people would show up to look to the Orioles, and hey, man, I want to get an autograph. I'd like to meet these guys. That's how you develop fan-based loyalty, right? Well, here's what William Tress has to say. The baseball winter meetings have been held. Teams have made trades to improve the product they put on the field, and the players have been added to an existing core in order to make the team better. Yet all we read about was the Orioles trying to get rid of players who might have some market value, in other words, talent, to get unproven players who, after many years in the minor leagues, may be able to make a major league roster. For example, we got rid of Dylan Bundy, a pitcher who we developed all the way from the beginning, and last year he started to look good, and they got rid of him, and then they got rid of this guy, I think his name is Juvar or something like that, who hit 25 home runs, stole bases and everything. Last year he was a new player for the Orioles. And they were saying, oh, if we had kept them, it would cost like $10 million a year. In baseball money, that's nothing. $10 million is nothing. So all the time we always hear that these are the kind of players you build a team around. You don't get rid of them. So they get rid of these guys, and they get nothing for them. They got rid of Cashman, a pretty good pitcher for us during the season, and they got two 17-year-old Venezuelan unproven ball players for this guy. So they're getting nothing in return.
What about
these people? And they're always worried about money. Mike Elias, who is the general manager, falls back on the fact that he participated in the development of the successful Houston Astros, and for that he deserves credit. Yet that does not guarantee that lightning will strike again in Baltimore as it did in Houston. In the meantime, we are asked to support the bad product he has been marketing. He says that this approach is the only and correct way to build a competitive team for the future. I disagree with this philosophy. Ignoring the present for the future is not fair to the loyal fan base. Well, not only that, now they're talking about Trey Mancini. Trey Mancini is one of the best baseball players in baseball. He plays for the Orioles. He hit 35 home runs last year. He drove in over 100 runs. He plays infield and outfield. He has a great personality, and he's only 27 years old. He's young. He could hit 50 home runs someday. We don't know. They're talking about getting rid of him now. He has 3 years on his contract. He's owned by us for 3 years under his current salary. And this guy Elias is saying, well, 3 years from now, this guy's going to want a ton of money. Now we can get something for him. You're not going to get another Mancini for him. No way. And so you got him for 3 years. The old way, you built the team around guys like Mancini and Jubar, whatever the heck his name was.
Right.
You build the team around them. And they're talking about Michael Givens, who is a good relief pitcher. That we can get something for him. Relief pitchers are hard to come by. What do you mean you build the bullpen around him? So I don't get this guy, and nobody's challenging him. Other teams rebuild in a more balanced way. They keep the fan base happy while putting competitive teams on the field. Teams that include hometown favorites like Trey Mancini, so you can root for them and admire them because they are seen around the community supporting worthy causes. In Baltimore, we used to say the Oriole way. Adam Jones, our great center fielder, knew the Oriole way. He was a star with a strong work ethic and deep roots in the community. Yet this management team ran him off. They got rid of him. And what about, the guy's name is Jonathan Villar, the guy I'm talking about.